Hi friends, my name is Micheline Maloof and I am the owner of Sculpt Mode Fitness. Before we get started with this video, I just want to say how excited I am that you've decided to join the 6-week accountability program. You are absolutely going to love it. It is going to be a blast. But before we step in to these doors and start your first boot camp class, I want to make sure you have a good foundation with some of our very popular movements that you'll see in class. So we don't want to see injury, we want to see you thrive during these classes. So we're going to go over the following movements right here. All right guys, so the first movement today is going to be a squat. It might seem trivial, but stay with me here, okay? Because squats are actually one of the #1 movements I see done wrong in class. So let's go over it real quick. You could do a lot of different variations of squats. You have a more narrow squat, you could do more of a sumo squat, which is a wide stance, but let's bring it to a little bit wider than hip width apart, just for today. I like my hands right here at heart center. Shoulders are drawn away from the ears, chest is elevated, nice neutral spine. The most important part of doing a squat is not necessarily your foot placement, it's your hips. I want those hips opening, kind of almost focus on pushing those knees out as you lower into your squat. So I have a neutral position with my toes, with my feet, shoulders are relaxed. I'm opening up through the hips, pushing the knees out wide as I lower. All my weight is sent back into the heels, digging into my heels to lift back up. Again, pushing those knees out as I lower, and keeping them pressed out as I lift. From side view here, real quick. I've seen a lot of this happening, okay? I don't want you putting all the pressure in your low back. Again, neutral spine, neutral feet, placement, shoulders are relaxed. I'm opening up through the hips, pushing the knees out as I lower. I'm still pushing the knees out as I lift. Again, push the knees out as you lower. Slowly come on back to standing. Notice how I never looked down. I see a lot of that during class and we want to fight that. Another thing I see is I see a lot of people's knees cave in as they squat. That just means you might have tight hips and tight calves. Could mean a lot of different things, but you, especially if you are one of those people, you are gonna have to focus on pushing those knees out a little bit more than the average person, right? Or start rolling out those calves, and we can talk about that another day. But again, one more time, shoulders relaxed, push those knees out as you lower. All the weight shifts back into my heels. Keep pushing those knees out as I lift. That's how you do a squat. The next movement we're gonna go over is a lunge, a proper lunge. Let's go over that really quick. So one of our coaches actually had a really good analogy for this. Imagine your feet were on railroad tracks, okay? My feet are on railroad tracks, my hands are on my hips because I'm a nice neutral spine here. So with a lunge, you're just stepping right back on that railroad track, lowering that knee, both legs are at 90 degrees, and coming back up. But when you come back to neutral, you are coming back right here on that railroad track. A lot of times I see people try to bring their foot a little more too narrow in center, and so their balance is wonky, right? So if you focus on staying on your railroad tracks, you're gonna be just fine. So let's start with alternating lunges, stepping back and stepping forward. So with an alternating lunge, I want a nice neutral spine. Chest is lifted tall, core is engaged. You're gonna step back on that railroad track, find 90 degrees. You're gonna push up, come all the way back to standing, okay? Same thing with the opposite side, 90 degrees, and come back to standing. One more thing with your lunge. When you step back, I wanna see this front knee, not just at 90, but I also pressing out, kind of the outside of the body a little bit to really engage that glute and coming right back in. Notice, just from side view here. I'm stepping back on my railroad track, lowering my knee, but my knee is pressing out a little bit. So getting a little deeper, engaging the glutes a bit more, coming back to standing, okay? That is a proper lunge. Let's next go over a kettlebell swing. Now don't be afraid of kettlebells. They are your friends. But with the kettlebell swing, we want to make sure that your core is engaged and everything is rocking and rolling so that you can start adding more and more weight as you progress in these 6 weeks. So I have a kettlebell right here. This is called a horn, okay? So we're gonna say grab the top of your horn. Now with the kettlebell swing, you're in a squat position, okay? But you can do, just like a squat, you can do a wide stance with the kettlebell swing. You can have a more narrow stance. It's totally up to you. Today, we're gonna go a little bit wider so you can kind of get the full effect. I want you to draw the shoulders together. So your shoulders are drawn into the spine before you do anything else. Your core is active, so you're kind of bracing through that core. Now, just like a squat, you're gonna bend your knees, pushing those knees out, just like we talked about in squat, but the kettlebell is just gonna kind of hang in between those legs. You're kind of swinging between the legs, and you're driving with those hips to lift that kettlebell up. That's what a kettlebell swing really looks like. From side view, is it better? You get a better idea. Again, drawing the shoulders back. So I'm not rounding through the shoulders, core is engaged. I'm kind of sitting into a squat, driving through the hips to move the kettlebell. That is what is moving the kettlebell. Not so much my shoulders, I'm driving through the hips. You should feel that posterior chain engage as you drive those hips forward, okay? We're gonna take it nice and slow again. Draw your shoulders back, squat, drive through the hips, drive, drive, okay? That is the proper kettlebell swing. What I noticed a lot happen during class, I've seen people looking down, driving up, looking down, driving up. That can get your back injured super duper quickly. We don't want to see that. We want to see your gaze up, draw your shoulders back. It's more of a squat with a nice little drive at the top, okay? I'm never looking down, and I don't have rounded shoulders, okay? That is a proper kettlebell swing. Get nice and low, driving through those hips, all right? You're gonna have a perfect kettlebell swing when I see you, I just know it. We're gonna quickly go over proper plank form as well and modifications that you could do along with that. So with plank, it's heavy core work, but also chest and shoulders. Now with a plank, if you're in extended arms and you're on your toes, your wrists, elbows, and shoulders should always be in line, okay? Now, I'm extending my legs, I'm going into a full plank. Isolating here, notice how my hips are not dipping. I am flat as a board, that's the goal, okay? If your wrists bug you, you can absolutely take it to fists, or you can come down to your elbows, making sure your elbows are staying in line with your hips. No one's dipping. I don't wanna see any of this, and I don't wanna see any of this. That happy, beautiful medium. Core is engaged. If you are on your knees and you need to modify, that's 100% okay. You're gonna draw your knees back and want your weight shifted. Again, shoulders, elbows, and wrists are all in line. Drawing your shoulders away from the ears, your core is still engaged. Same thing if you want to come down to those elbows, right here, okay? To modify even further, you can draw your knees in a little bit closer. It makes it a lot tougher if you draw your knees further away from the hands and shifting forward, okay? So, our core is engaged, drawing the belly button into the spine. Shoulders are drawn away from the ears for a beautiful plank, in full plank and in modification. So there you go, that's a plank. Let's go over proper push-up. Now, don't just scroll past this. I've seen so many injuries happen based on wrist placement. So stay with me here. We're gonna go over a wide push-up and a tricep push-up. They are both very different and work different parts of your arm. So with a wide push-up, we're gonna start here. My fingertips are facing forward. I'm in a wider stance. You're gonna bring those legs back. You're gonna lower down into the ground, shoulders draw into the spine, squeeze to lift. If you have wrist issues, you can absolutely take it to fist. Do that same exact thing. Work the same movements, except you're not pinching on that wrist as much. You can absolutely do that. And just from side view, we're gonna go into that really quick. Nice wide stance, fingertips face forward. Legs extend back, neutral spine. You're gonna lower into the ground and lift up, okay? You can absolutely modify here, taking it onto the knees, shoulders shifting forward, lower, and lift. I'm not gonna be mad at you if you don't touch your chest to the ground. Even if your mobility is right here and you feel challenged enough, that's 100% great. One of your goals by the end of the 6 weeks is gonna be pushing up, chest down to the ground. Of course we're gonna push you. We're gonna give you that goal, but we want to make sure that you're doing it properly. Next is a tricep push-up. So we're just gonna bring those hands directly underneath those shoulders for a tricep push-up. You extend those legs back, fingertips face forward, elbows are drawing into the rib cage, into the spine, neutral spine, lower down, chest to the ground, push up. You want to push into the palms to lift up. Notice how you didn't see elbows come out to the side, all right? From side view with the tricep push-up. Hands again, directly underneath those shoulders. Extended legs if you can. As you lower, the elbows stay digging into your sides. As you push up, the elbows stay into your sides. If you need to modify on those knees, shift forward, lower, and lift. What I don't want to see is I just don't want to see elbows coming out to here and up. We don't want to see that. That could be wrist injury, okay? So if your mobility and if your tricep strength says that you need to stop here before opening up, that's where you need to stop and push up, okay? You can absolutely have the exact same challenge in the triceps going halfway, but I want to see proper form. Do not let those elbows wing out. Keep them tight the entire time with the tricep push-up, and you're gonna feel it, ooh, like crazy in the back of your arm. Your tricep's really gonna burn. So that is a push-up, a wide push-up, as well as a tricep push-up. All right, guys, the next movement we're gonna go over is the burpee. It's one of my absolute favorite movements. It's tough for every fitness level, it really is, but it's such a great workout because it's full body workout, full body movement, and it really gets that heart rate going, all right? So I'm gonna show you what a burpee looks like first, and then we'll break it down. So just from front view, you're gonna take it down to the ground, chest down, step it wide, and you're gonna give me a hop at the top. That's what a burpee looks like. So from side view, let's break it down. I'm bringing my hands down to the ground, stepping or hopping my feet back, chest comes down to the ground. I'm pushing into the ground to lift my chest up first, tucking the toes, stepping wide, and I'm gonna take a hop at the top, okay? One more time, break it down. Hands down, jump the feet back, chest down, lift up. I'm kind of tucking my toes to get rooted, to push off, take it wide, giving me a hop at the top. Let's show the modified version real quick. So, modified version is your hands are down on the ground. You can step or hop your feet back. I'm stepping. For modified version, you have the option to come down to the ground or just stand plain. You can step it wide and stand up, or you can give me a little elevated heels to challenge yourself at the top, or you can absolutely give me a hop at the top. Faster in modified movement. You're gonna bring your hands down. Step, 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 come into standing. Modified burpee again, hands down, step, 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 step. Or you're gonna give me full out, which it looks like this, chest down. Step it wide, hop it up, okay? That is the burpee and the modified burpee. So those are some of the more popular movements that you will see during boot camp classes. And now you know the right form, you have the good foundation. You can start adding some dumbbells, you can start adding kettlebells, and you're gonna be completely safe. But if you do at any point during class have questions about movement, about form, ask any of the coaches. We'd be happy to help you. We would much rather you ask us right in the middle of class or during a movement than get it wrong so that you hurt yourself. We don't want that. And we want to keep you safe. We want to keep you challenged. And again, if you have any questions, either ask a coach or revert back to this video. We're here to help you. And we cannot wait to have you in class. I'm so excited. All right, guys, have a wonderful day.